Ziggity Zig back with a target portrait probe. This is a 2v2 game with myself, and instead of Griff, because the game that I recorded with Griff yesterday, or at least I attempted to Griff, was... Oh, he told me to forgate. I tried recording it, but I turned the recording off instead of on, so I have approximately 12 seconds at the beginning and 4 seconds at the end of our match, which kind of annoys me. Anyway, so what I've done instead is a game that Oakweaver, or the excavator, Oakweaver found me online a few nights ago, and said, hey, let's play a game. So we played a 1v1, and you can see that game over on Oakweaver's channel. And so then he said, oh, let's play a 2v2, because I told him what I was up to, and he said, all right, let's do that. So we went up against Nate River, Zerg, and that was a long scroll, Strainage, a Protoss. So he says, always wall off against Zerg. I said, all right. Here I go. Now I get this. So they come out with a scouting probe. I don't believe we scouted. No, I don't think we did. But we walled off. I'm going to keep my eye on the APM. There's my average down there at 12. So he asks me to go scout. Pings over there, tells me to go check out both the bases. This is basically a Oakweaver just kind of giving me some hints, give me some tips, things that I can do, things that I should do. Why didn't he fork? Oh, no, wait. Is he... Yeah, he's going pretty standard. They seem to both be going pretty standard. There's a spawning pool just finishing now at like 12, 11. So that's cool. We'll keep it up on units. So, Oakweaver and I were sort of staying ahead, macro-wise. Protoss is keeping up. And Zerg. Good old Nate River. So he's got some Zerglings on the way. So here is a bit of a wall off. Well, at least it's not a wall off, but it's a pipe. Choke point. Double pylon. How am I doing? Did I forget my other pylon? No, I seem to be doing alright. Oh, that's just a lobster. Scantipede. So, here come Nate River's Zerglings. So they get into Oakweaver's base. Now, meanwhile, I'm doing just other stuff. They ran right past him. So Oakweaver gets his units out of there. Actually, oh, he attacks. Well done. So he goes after him. Loses three probes. Nice. So that was well defended. That was really well done. Brings his zealot down regardless. No, wait. Okay, there he goes. He's going to go and hold his zealot in place. Yeah. So here come a couple more Zerglings. He thinks they're coming to me. So I think he tells me to wall off and watch out. And he actually checks to make sure my zealot is in the right place. And of course it's not, because I suck. I think around here he reminds me of that. Telling me to forgate. So I decide, okay, this is what you do. You wait until you have enough. And then you just start laying down gateways. Isn't that what you do? Now, they only get your zealot in a good position, so there it is. So I'm all... Oh, right, there we go. Okay. Oh, do I have a double gap? Yeah, so he's worried about the incoming, because he can actually see these guys. Now, the weird thing about this is that they keep attacking him. They don't bother with me at all, even though we're pretty much on par. No, look at this. The three Protoss players are doing all right. Trying to get a gateway. I think he was going 3-gate robo, or at least trying to. The problem is that he had quite a lot of damage. Now the other problem was the hold position didn't do much there. There we go. So he finally gets the stalker out, and that gets them to run away. So they do not get into his base a second time. They also don't come and attack me. I find that really strange. The Protoss came and scoped me out, and I'm not sure if they just sort of decided. Yeah, here I go. So I've got a sentry coming in next. So there they are, just so I can hold my base. I decided to get a couple more. Yep, sentries in a zealot. Get my cyber core done. So warp gate is finished. Got some units. Doing okay. There's me in the blue. My macro's up. I mean, look at that. 22. I'd say that's alright. So there. 4-gate ready. 4-gate ready at 6:53. Ooh. Oh, that's terrible. That is, yeah, that's just not good at all. And, oh, man, have we noticed the Artosis pylon here? That's pretty bad. I need another one right there. Right there. My problem, and I'll say this right now, my problem is when I fill up my pylon areas with buildings, I then have very little space to move everybody in, or to warp anyone in, any units. So it kind of annoys me there. So I start working on some army. Now, if you see the graph after this game, the graph after this game is actually pretty cool. Because it shows that, well, my APM wasn't terrible, but they were totally beating my APM despite the fact that my macro seemed to be ahead. Yeah, I mean, I'm way up. Look at that, only 17 probes and 5 zealots. I've got that and then some. So he wants me to check, Oakweaver just reminded me to check the naturals, because, you know, he really could have had a proxy anything in there. He could have had a zealot rush coming in from the back, he could have 4-gated us and come in from behind, and that would have really sucked. So I should have done that a lot earlier. Basically, the way I see it, we were up against some really not the greatest of opponents right here. So I don't quite have enough for an expansion just yet. Nate River has got both watchtowers. No gold yet. However, luckily I send my... Oh man, had I sent one zealot down here, he would have gotten owned. But I decided to send a zealot up here just to take the watchtower. So what I usually do... Oh. Apparently I didn't this time. I just left-clicked it on it. What you do is you attack, move right next to it, and then do a shift left-click on it. Or a shift right-click on it to move to it. That's the easiest way I find. So he sees that I've taken it, and he apparently decides to get it back. So he comes at me with... Oh, yeah. With some zerglings. How many do I take out? Let's see how Hero Zealot does. It's not quite a Hero Zealot. Ready? 2. Fair enough. Meanwhile, army continuing. Macro doing well. Game freezing up. That's fine. Finally getting a forge down. In the game that I had against him, and you probably... Oh, no, you probably... Anyway, he cast the game, so it's over on his channel, YouTube/oakweaver. Just a minute, I was talking. Do you mind? Let's back that up. So it's over on YouTube/oakweaver. That was our 1v1 where he just says, oh, let's play and have a game and see how it goes. So we had a game, and one of the main things he mentioned, you know, that was pretty good, but... There they go. But your forge went down too early. Now, I was used to, it was the D-Apollo method of, you know, you cover your ramp, then you put your forge down, and it acts as kind of a wall. But he says that could have been another stalker. So don't be ready for that until... So what I've tried to do is only try to work on tech when my warp gate isn't ready. And then, basically, if your warp gate is ready, and you don't have enough minerals to warp in anything, either your macro is slipped, which is my problem, or you teched too much, which is my other problem. So, if I know I'm not teching, and I'm waiting for those warps to come in, and I see, oh, three warps are ready, awesome, and I have nothing building out of my robo if I'm doing 3-gate robo, I think to myself, okay, well, if I don't have enough money, then that means I'm not macroing enough. That means I'm not producing probes at all. I have 30 probes right now, which is cool. So here comes Strainage. Strainage has got... Why can't I count? 11 zealots. So here they come. Here comes the attack. He's got charge lots, because he's decided to make charge lots. So I've got a bit of range. So I decided to cut him off, cut him out, screw him up a little bit. Probably could have sliced that right down the middle. Oakweaver's giving me a few more options on that. So we take him down, and then I reinforce a bit more. Now I'm only at 74 supply. Resources? So I'm at 66. Well, I say only, but man, I've got the largest army right now. Let's go back to units. He asks, did they have charge? Somehow I noticed, or at least I was pretty sure they had charge. Yeah. They decided to give up on this tower. 8 River at least did. You watch this. The APM is ridiculous. Their APM is huge. And yet 24 and 17. Well, 24 isn't too bad, but 17? What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing over here? You're going 5 Gateway Forge, Blink Stalker on 1 base. These are players who are bad at math. There's a lot of stuff going on over here for Strainage. Nate River. Nate River's got... he's starting to get his roach count up, but unit count-wise, I think I might still have it. So... and... oh my god, 23 drones on 2 base. This is... so they're working on army and they're not working on macro. Oakweaver and I are managing to work on both. Or, you know, you got a decent... yeah, doing alright over there. Back at the main. Let's check out our... could be better. Could be better. But it's a bit better. It's way better than they're doing right now. Because, yeah, we definitely have the macro advantage here. We even have the unit advantage right now. We have the strength. And so the thing is, we've just been waiting far too long to move out. I think, once again, I'm waiting for some kind of +1. Tells me to add gates when I'm comfortable. I think I threw down, yeah. As soon as he mentions that, that's when I sort of realize, oh, that's right, I did have some money. So I throw a couple down. And warp in some units. Keep it going full steam. Nate River brings in his Overseer. Now, we really should have done quite a lot more by now. And really, they should have done even more by now. What are... wants me to get Blinker Charge. Didn't I? No, not just yet. So he's just kind of coaxing me along, just saying, okay, now's a good time for this, now's a good time for that, now you might want to look into this. I decided to get +2 all on my own, just because I really like upgrades. I like having a distinct advantage. Oh, this is when I got slightly pylon blocked again. It happens. So they're sort of just trying to have a little bit of vision. They don't have much. Wow. So they've even retreated back from here. I mean, that's a fair army. Mostly. Currently, I think I have the lion's share of the army. Doing alright. Still continuing my probe production, 2 at a time. There's Blink, there's that. So he's waiting for Zerg Carapace 1. Ah, ground weapons 2. We're all getting ground weapons 2. That's curious. Ah, Baneling Cocoon! So he decides he's going to make some Banelings. Yeah. So they try to Baneling bust our armies. Oakweaver's currently got his behind mine, but he's also been working on some Colossus, and I think... does he have any thermal lands coming down? I don't see any. So I start pushing a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more, and then I see this little blob here. So I engage a little bit, but then at the same time I also decide, I think Oakweaver tells me to move back. Kind of blocking myself off. Makes my zealots useless, but it keeps most of these guys out of my face. Colossus has... no. Doesn't really say. It might say when extended thermal lance gets done. So here we go, we sort of chase him off. My guys are at +1, his are at +1. We're all at +1 right now. Yeah, I'm recommending the fallback. Because this is another thing that you sort of try to help me out with, is knowing a good engagement. When to fight. Because I lose a lot of games, even though I have an advantage of units, but I do not have an advantage of territory. So this is what I really need to start learning now. You know, the usual, work on my macro, etc., etc., etc. Spamming that APM. Not doing them any good. Because they have, between them, the same number of harvesters as I have on my own. That's just bad. So here we are, we chase them a little further. Chase, chasey, chase. Apparently Nate Rivers decided to expand down here. Probably thinking twice about that. I love watching Colossus do cliff walk. So here we are. I mean, that was just it. I think this is a game that's an example of we were up against some pretty poor opponents. I mean, they were spamming the APM, but just not doing anything with it. They just didn't have... Look at that. 18 minutes into the game and he has 10 workers at his natural? They just cannot possibly be making any money off of that. Look at that. Look at those numbers. 1,200, 1,000, and 450. I don't know if that's per minute, per 5 seconds. That's probably per minute. So we just horrendously out-macroed them. So he decides to go south, I decide to go north. We thought that was kind of fun. I do a crappy blink up the hill. And we just kill him. Kill him! So that was an example of a good game. That apparently did not count towards my race to the probe, so I'm still at 7 of 10 on that achievement, so I need 3 more legitimate wins before I can get the probe portrait. It's on the way, peoples. It's on the way. Leave a comment, send me an email, ziggitysig@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment, or you can follow me on Twitter, at ZiggyStarcraft. I think I said all that right. Oh man, I get confused. I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna eat. Yeah, more of that. Stay tuned.